If you live with chronic pain or illness, it can be really frustrating, frightening, isolating, discouraging, especially when your treatments don't work. Maybe there aren't treatments for you. Maybe the treatments that you do have give you raging side effects. Maybe it's just dealing with the ins and outs of going to doctor's visits or feeling like you can't speak up for yourself. I want to talk to you about a treatment type that I offer, which can help with those symptoms and the navigation of just life with a chronic illness or pain. And that's medical hypnosis. I'm Kim Perrano. I am a transformational coach, medical hypnotherapist, and a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And one of the techniques that I specialize in is medical hypnosis. It's very specific to medical issues and problems and symptoms so that we can start to shift how our brain actually relates to pain or other symptoms, and how we relate to our illness in the first place. So I've been an acupuncturist since 2010. I've treated thousands of patients with a really diverse population of complaints that they're coming in for. But the thing that everyone has in common who seems to make tremendous leaps and bounds of success is that they're kind of open to this mind, body, emotion, spirit connection and how those things interplay with each other. Now science is sort of catching up in some certain terms, to understanding how the mind, how our emotions, how these things actually affect our physical body. And this can be, trained neural pathways where like you have a chronic pain, you had an injury at one time and that pain became permanent or chronic because your brain rewired itself to fire pain signals in certain situations. And that's something that can actually be corrected. And maybe we have symptoms that give us a lot of anxiety. Maybe we have symptoms that trigger a lot of anger in us. And these are all things that we can work on through that mind-body connection. So let's jump into how medical hypnosis works and what you might be using it for. So if you've ever had the experience of driving your car down the freeway and then getting to where you're going and having kind of no recollection of point A to point B, like the journey in between, that's because you were in a trance state. That's a daily hypnotic state that we go in and out of throughout the day. They tend to happen when we are overwhelmed with a lot of stimulus. This happens to me all the time if I'm in really crowded spaces and it's holiday time right now, so there's like twinkly lights on top of it. And we feel kind of spaced out. Maybe you yawn a lot or just feel kind of more drowsy than usual. That's a natural hypnotic state. And that's what we're using in hypnotherapy. So this hinges on using the power of focused attention, heightened suggestibility so that we can facilitate the shift of positive changes through our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and habits. And contrary to common belief, where we associate stage hypnosis with hypnotherapy, you're actually fully aware and fully interacting throughout these sessions. So you're not like completely out, you have your conscious awareness about you. Now, people use hypnosis and hypnotherapy for many different intentions and reasons. Some of the things that I work a lot with are stress and anxiety, medical pain, and medical management. So when people can't take traditional pain medications, maybe they want something extra to help them, we can work with all of these medical issues. So this also might be conditions that have really annoying symptoms. So like maybe there's muscle twitching or itching or things like this that won't change or aren't changing to the level you want them to with medications. We can use hypnosis to help you learn new ways of dealing with those symptoms that come up. There's also behavioral changes and habits. So we often hear about hypnosis for quitting smoking or weight loss or learning how to exercise more or just creating those healthy habits where we're helping create new habits and positive associations with those new habits, perhaps negative associations with habits we want to break. Phobias and fears of flying, anything that comes up around that. Sleep disorders, so anxiety at nighttime, bedwetting, sometimes even nightmares we can assist with. And then obviously self-confidence, motivation, and bettering the good. So we're already feeling pretty good and capable. We can elevate that to a new level with some hypnotherapy techniques. I think that one of the main reasons people like doing hypnotherapy is that it gives us a sense of empowerment again. It gives us a sense of control, that we have the ability to actually shift what's going on with us. It also is pretty holistic, right? We're encompassing all of the different aspects of who you are and what you're doing and what you're going through to create that type of holistic healing. It's also obviously very non-invasive, and it's fully customized to whatever you're going through at that time. Every session is not pre-prescribed before you come in. It's developed through our conversations together and how things are going or what's coming up so that we can adjust and shift as you move through. So what's a session like? I do most of my hypnotherapy sessions online, but if you're local to Marin County or the Bay Area, we can do them in person. You're going to book a discovery call so that we can talk about what you're looking for, what your expectations are, see if hypnotherapy is a right fit for you in the first place. And then we're going to schedule a session. In between that time, you're going to get a very lengthy questionnaire, which is part of your healing journey. These questions help hone in what you're here for, what you want out of the work together, and what you're willing to do to get that result that you're wanting. This is your first step on that healing journey. In our first session, we're going to talk about the paperwork that you filled out. We're going to talk about what you're here for, any questions you might have about the process, and then do a hypnotic induction and process. The actual hypnosis parts of sessions can last anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 or 40 minutes. It just sort of depends on where you're at that day. We tend to do sessions in 3-session chunks. So it'll be 3 sessions specifically targeted at one specific thing that we're wanting to shift. So if you have a lot of different symptoms or a lot of different things you're looking for help with, we might want to parse that out and deal with each one separately as they come about. And then you're also going to get some self-hypnosis, perhaps a recording, to work with inner time between seeing each other so that you can start developing those habits. Hypnosis is not about somebody doing something to you or having something done for you. It's about having that guide there to help you experience that change and then going home and actualizing that change on your own time. That's what makes real change possible. And I wanted to make a point about finding a qualified hypnotherapist or hypnotist to help you with your issues. Now, hypnotherapy is an unregulated industry. That means that there's no state or national governing boards that offer a test and a licensure and tracking of the people who are practicing this. That means that anybody can basically call themselves a hypnotist, whether or not they've even had a training. There are some industry-led organizations that help to filter through this. I'm a member of the International Certification Board for Coaches and Hypnotists, and my training in medical hypnosis was part of that board certification. I'm also a certified Beyond Quantum Healing practitioner and a timeline healing practitioner, and I've been working in the realm of past life hypnotherapy for about 8 years very intensely. I think for medical issues particularly, it's helpful to either have someone who's very experienced or have someone who also has medical background and experience. So I think my background as an acupuncturist for the last 13 plus years is really helpful in helping people working through medical stuff because I know the language, I know how these things work, and we can have that conversation more fluidly. If you're curious about using hypnotherapy to help you navigate your medical conditions, please click my link and book a discovery call. We can go over any questions you have, see if what you're looking for is a good fit for hypnotherapy, and I'm happy to point you in other directions if it's not. It would be great to meet you and speak with you.